Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm with my boss. You guys can see, even with like the blazer, you can tell like she's the boss. You know? But anyways, we're going to be asking her all the questions that I put up a question box on Instagram, and I also have like questions that people typically ask or people want to ask that they are too scared to ask, and we're going to be asking her all those questions because
why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. So let's get into it. Are you ready?
I am ready.
How do you feel?
So excited to hear your questions.
Okay.
So excited.
We're going to be calling her C today because you guys are nosy and we're respecting people's like privacy. How do you say privacy with like a British accent?
Privacy.
Privacy. We're going to be respecting her.
Thank you
privacy.
so much for respecting my privacy.
Okay, thank you. The first question we're going to ask is, how do you know that you're going to hire somebody? Like you're doing an interview, how do you know I'm going to get this person, or like I'm going to hire this person, or this person will get the job?
It's the vibes.
What do you mean it's the vibes?
No, that is partly a joke, but partly true.
Okay.
It's getting a vibe of the person in terms of how they put themselves across. Because you can have a list of things that qualifies a person for the role, but if the person doesn't mesh with the team or doesn't mesh with the organization in terms of their character, in terms of, I guess, their values and their mission, you can quickly kind of tell whether they're putting something on. So being discerning enough to understand, like, okay, what is the vibe of this person giving off? Which sometimes you can fake it, sometimes, but yeah.
Okay, but like, how does one incorporate the vibe to like their interview? Because it's like you can see somebody's CV. How do you put on the vibe? That's the question.
You can't put on, that's the thing, you can't put on the vibe. You've either got it or you don't.
Oh, sorry. That's not helpful.
Well, I know it's not helpful, but that's the truth.
What it is,
it's like, there will be different roles that I'll be seeking a different vibe from. So if there's a role that requires a lot of talking to people, then I need you to be influential. I need you to be a good communicator. But then if there's a role where it's more kind of, data focused,
analytical,
then you can also understand what sort of vibe or character that person can put across in the way that they talk, in the way that they communicate, in the way that they dress, and even like the small talk. You can almost tell like how charming somebody is. But some job roles you don't need to be charming.
Okay,
you don't.
That's true. Oh, so because you've said small talk now, are you saying that like soft skills will matter depending on the role, or does it matter regardless of the role?
It depends on who's interviewing you and what they most care about. But I as a manager of what I would consider a close-knit team where we work with each other like on an hour-to-hour basis, it's important that like the people in my team gel well. But if I'm recruiting for somebody who's kind of like just one project, I'm not going to be so vigilant on it.
Okay. How does it feel sitting up there and looking at all of us from up there?
What is that question?
What do you mean, what's that? It's real. Like how does it feel being the boss? Like, you know, when you come, like everybody's like, oh, I have to pass, I have to submit my annual leave thing. I have to do this one so that you approve it for us.
I'm like, I would consider myself as like just a supervisor in terms of admin on approving. And yes, I can give direction, but really I would consider myself, this is so politically correct, but I'm as much part of the team. I would say I'm like, I describe like part of the circle rather than me overlooking the circle. Like, yeah. But if you consider what it's like on a day-to-day basis, how we work together, I wouldn't think that I'm like high above.
Right. That's what I'm not expecting you to say, oh yeah, I'm high above. Well, do we approve your annual leaves? No, you approve our annual leaves.
Someone has to, and she...
Okay. No, it's fine. That was an honest answer.
It was.
Okay. Do you secretly judge us when we start packing up 10 minutes before 5 p.m.? Like before close of work, do you judge us?
No, I actually don't.
Do you know that we do that?
I think a lot of people do. You're not the only one.
No, yeah, I know.
It's not the only office that does that. I've been in other offices where people do that, and I know that you could be like a baby boomer boss where it's like strict, you clock in.
You even
on
have
the
to stay.
dot.
You even have to stay like after hours as well. Like
Oh
sometimes
yeah, like you're
to
almost
sort of
expected
yeah.
to be there early and stay later. And I think one of the things is like a trait of being a millennial boss is like the main thing is, well, it's kind of like a trait of that. As long as you get the work done and you're not taking the, then it's okay if you start packing up. It'd be weird if you started packing up 10 minutes before and you haven't done your work, then I'd be like, are we a joke to you?
Deliverables. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Like you didn't deliver.
Okay.
And you're going.
Okay.
So
you're not judging us, okay?
because I do it too sometimes. If I'm like, we're done
If
for
you're
the day,
done, yeah.
let's go.
Okay. What's one thing that employees do that annoy you, but you never say out loud?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
There are a couple things.
Okay, please.
The first one, I think a lot of people will be able to relate. But because we work in an open space, we have like cubicles within a team, but it's all pretty open. When people talk loud, yeah, but when it's not us.
Because I'm just like, we're the ones talking loud
it's
most
fine.
of the time.
It's okay for us to have fun, but if anyone else in the office is having fun, then I really think they should take their work a lot more seriously because it's unacceptable. Yeah, but people talk loud. Imagine especially when they're talking about work. It's actually fine if they're talking about something outside of work. When they're not, I can understand why there is some excitement because, you know, life outside of work is more exciting than the office. But if you're having a conversation that should be taking place in a meeting room, but instead
You're doing it.
you want to verbalize and vocalize because you want everyone else in the office to think, wow,
You're doing your
you are
job.
so smart. Why didn't I think of that?
Do you know that we also talk about work loudly too?
Yes, but that's fine because we're just passionate about our work. That's the difference.
It's the double standards for me. Okay. This is why nobody likes the team.
And
this
number
is
two,
why.
I'm not finished that. Everyone, unless you don't have a sense of smell, will be able to agree. People who are not mindful about their smell.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes.
Because we spend every single day, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 in the office.
Together, yeah.
Do you not think it's rude that you're exposing my nose to your obscenities?
Okay. To be fair, I feel like that's annoying as well. Like, are you smelling?
Like if you're in a public space, fair enough. If you want to smell in private,
that's fine.
please, live your life, live your smelly life.
Yeah.
But if you're around other people,
Don't smell. Okay. Yeah. That's a fair thing to annoy you because, like, I think it's fair as well. You shouldn't smell in public spaces. Yeah. Okay. That's good. Okay. Is it really okay to say no to extra work? You know how you're like, oh, do you have space to do this or like fit this in? And then somebody's like, oh yeah, even if they don't have the space.
well, why are you saying yes if you don't have the space?
Because like you're their boss. Like,
No, but I think
Be for real.
It depends who the boss is though, because for me, I would prefer if the person I'm asking is honest. And also, as a manager, part of your responsibility is understanding what is on your employees'
Table.
workload.
Yeah.
And you can ask them, but also you should be able to offer your opinion and assess whether that person can actually take on this extra project.
But in your opinion, it's like you can be asking somebody based on the fact that you're thinking, oh, you should have finished this thing or you should be able to do this thing. But maybe somebody's really struggling with something.
Yeah.
And then based on your assessment, they should have the capacity to accept this role. But then maybe they haven't and they don't, but they haven't told you yet.
That's the thing. I think it's more of like a communication of like, okay, if you're going to say no, you're going to need to give me a reason.
Okay, very good. They'll give you the reason they'll give you is I can't do it. Stop asking me to do things I don't want to do. They said, how willing are you to train a complete newbie with no iota of real life work experience?
Very unlikely.
Oh God, wow. So,
No, very unlikely because in the role that I'm in now, I feel like it's such a wide role in terms of my responsibilities and I don't think I would have the capacity to be able to invest 100% into that person and still do my responsibilities as in a way that I want to be able to fulfill them. So No, I wouldn't. I think that's someone else's job.
Okay, so why do you guys then ask for zero new grads, no experience necessary, but then you still want?
I didn't ask for that.
But you know, like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing that people do. It's like, oh, you don't have to have a lot of experience, but then when you come for the interview, they're like, oh, have you ever done this before? So what's the best way for somebody that has never had any experience to actually get in the door?
Find the charities or find the offices that do take them. But if you're going to ask me, no. If you put like CVs in front of me, and if I'm having to compare, which one am I most likely to interview? Somebody already with experience or somebody without experience? I'm going to go for somebody with the experience.
So how will people that don't have experience get experience?
Find another workplace that will take them. That is well,
yeah, but like, what if other workplaces are also like, no, we don't want somebody without experience? Can you see?
Yeah, I can speak from a journalism perspective.
Okay.
Which is what I was doing before. Do freelance work.
Freelance, okay.
Yeah, and because with journalism, to be able to get paid, you need to have the article ready. So it's not like they need to train you. You just need to go find a story
and give them,
and then you can put that on your.
Okay, but okay. I get what you're saying. But that's just from journalism. That's from a journalism point of view. I'm saying like people that don't have journalism as their background.
I think I would say you have to be open to more junior positions.
Okay.
So either that's like internship or like a junior version of the role that you're trying to apply for. You need to work from
the bottom up. Absolutely, yeah. I think so as well. That working from the bottom up is difficult, but
it will take like what can be in a junior position for 2 or 3 years, and then you would probably
2 or 3 years.
Two, people say 2, and then you would have your next. Unless it's an organisation where
you can't.
There's a high turnover. There's a high turnover
as
so
well.
You would have more opportunities to move up.
Okay, the next question is, why have open door policy when people are scared of coming in through the said door? Do you get what I mean? Why is there an open door? Open door?
What do you mean by open door?
Have you not, like, you know, when people say, oh, it's an open door policy in this organization, like you can speak to anybody, like nobody is like above you.
That.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's a policy called open door policy when people are too afraid to even like ask you anything, because if they ask you, then they are targeted.
I don't know. I feel like that hasn't happened in the organisation that I've worked in.
Okay.
Do you think?
But do you know? I'm just. To be fair, I don't think so. I feel that. Well, and I'm not even saying it to be like, oh, we have a good communication thing at the office or anything, but it's like, I feel that nobody is really scared to say what they want. And I think it's also the way like leadership has made it, not, I'll say leadership for like and most of senior management as well, like it's pretty like chill. It's not to like...
Yeah, I think it depends on the culture that has been established
I think it's based on the culture. But in general, most of the time, in places where they don't have this culture, people are scared to talk to their boss. To be fair, I've never been scared to talk to my boss. Like, I'm actually sorry. I have worked in places where people were scared of talking to the boss. But I think the reason I'll say, oh, I've never been scared of a boss is because it's like, I know that it's a job. Do you get what I mean? Like, if you do not need the services I can provide, I won't be here. Like, it's not a charity. Do you get what I mean? Like, so, and it's also like, it's like, okay, if I'm scared of my teachers in school, lecturers, quote unquote, I will now come to where I'm supposed to make my livelihood and I'm scared as well. Like,
yeah,
like, do you get what I mean?
That's not it.
But it's a common, like, it's a common thing where, especially in places where, let me say, private organizations where your boss can literally cut off your means of livelihood. There's no like proper procedure or anything.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I think that's one of the benefits of working in a Christian organization, is that there is that extra layer of, I guess, bond and trust in that, like, we have no, but it's true, because the way that
okay.
You laugh, but if you go work for like a secular office, the vibe is totally
I've worked
different.
in a lot of secular offices.
But the way that like we have that sense of like openness, I think is definitely a benefit.
Okay. You say so?
I think so. I don't know how you see it, but that's
No, that's fine. Like, I'm not trying to get fired today. I'm joking.
These are the same people paying for your visa. So
officer, arrest me. Okay. The next one is, why hire professionals and then insist on doing it your way? Yeah, it's the same question as this question says, why hire professionals and then insist on doing it your way? It's also the same question as when we're in a meeting and you say, do you have any other opinions? Do you really want people to give you their actual opinions, or do you just want them to agree with what you've said? So
when you asked me that earlier, I was joking when I said no. No, because I think specifically for the team that we're in, we're quite specific in our speciality. So that's what I like, is that there are certain, from like a design aspect, of course I would look to our designer to be able to, direct like how like a direct mail campaign should look in terms of design wise. But I think depending on like the leadership style of the person, some people genuinely consider themselves an expert on everything.
Okay, yeah.
And that they can point to their 10, 20, 30 years of experience strategically, So they would be like, well, they can give examples. Oh, well, I did this campaign like this and it was a success, so we should do it exactly the same. And I guess a part of like it is finding that balance of trusting your leader in their expertise and their experience, and then also trusting people within their speciality of their expertise which you hired them for. So
it's a balance.
Yeah, and it's all like with conversation, and like we all pretty much like when an idea is good, and you have other people like building that culture of like, we can be encouraging to each other, but we can also be honest. If an idea is not good, then
if somebody tells you, if let's say I was like a designer and then I say, actually no, this design that I have made, I think this is the best one for this one, but you think no, actually go with the second one, what would you then do?
I think we would have to come to a point where we both
what is the point? The point is like, is it more agreeing with your own like choice or with the specialists?
This is where if it's such a black and white situation where we literally are like,
that's what I'm saying.
I would bring other people in to get their opinion, and if another person is more siding with them, then you have to be humble enough and be like, okay, like two people's opinion
is greater than your own. What if you're very convinced? Okay, the correct way.
I'm actually not arrogant to be absolutely not.
Wait, the correct way to put it is like, when would you veto your power as like, okay, I'm the boss and this is like, in what situations would you say, actually, this is what we're going to do?
In non-essentials, I wouldn't do that. So like if it's like a design perspective.
So you're saying design is non-essential?
Well, it's a matter of like visuals, isn't it? But if it's something like that's directly going against our strategy, if it's directly going against the procedure set by IHQ or our directors, then that's going to be like, I can't allow that to happen.
Okay. So you're saying that what I heard was that non-essentials, you lot can handle that, but essentials, you're like, I'm going to put in my real power here.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm saying, is that when it comes to opinion on which sentence sounds better, like, I'm going to leave that to the copywriter to decide. But again, like, if it's so literally like clashing so much, then I would involve other people.
Okay. Somebody said, how can I ask for a raise from my organization? I feel underpaid with all the responsibilities and achievements that I have.
I think even before considering handing in that like formal request, like speak to a professional or speak to a friend that you trust who has been there, or somebody that you trust, of like, hey, do you think this is actually, do I have like grounds here
to ask for a raise? Okay.
Because you don't just want to be shooting and then actually you don't have anything.
What would you consider grounds to ask for a raise?
I think if you are working outside of your job description and you can give a good bank of examples as to how you're doing that.
But how long? Like, let's say I've been working outside of my job description for like 1 month, 2 months. How long then can I say, actually, I'm working outside? I've been doing it for how long? Yeah.
I would say when you're able to produce results. But most of the time it's an organization will want you to probably 1 to 2 years, really.
Jesus Christ.
And that is something that I've heard.
Wow. Oh my God.
As well.
No. Oh God. Damn.
But they will also want to see how you've contributed to this success. So you can
like
do
1 to
X,
2
Y,
years.
Z.
What do you mean? Oh my God.
From my experience, like you could be working in an industry where it's just like,
yeah, but like
in the industry, I'm talking charity here, where funds are limited.
Okay, yeah.
But if you're working
I'm
for,
saying
like, you know
more general as well, like even like more general, right? And I'm saying if you have done something, also there's work. People have work that doesn't really have like results where you're like, oh, this is the result. Do you get what I mean? So it can be a bit tricky.
Generally, if let's say you started working at a job and 3 months in, your job description is like nowhere near
what you're doing.
Yeah, then I think you have very good grounds there to basically get.
But 3 months is like probation.
Depends. Some 3 months. There's some 6 months.
Okay.
But yeah, the main thing is like you have to be fair on both sides as to actually like what are you delivering, and consider, I guess, from their point of view, how are you deserving of this raise? Especially if you're working in a team, you know, like you have somebody there who's been there for like 12 years.
Yeah, but they don't want to ask. Like, how it's not. I understand what you're saying, but I also think it's like a cross-generational thing where it's like a Gen Z is not going to wait. Like,
not. No.
You're not going to wait 2 years. I'm not waiting 2 years to ask for a raise.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm saying that you have to consider, not from your point of view, but you have to consider it, because you always have to assess, okay, how will this be delivered? Like, how will they hear this? I can be putting it across a certain way, but how will they take it? So then they're thinking, okay, this person, this team is asking for that, but then...
Yeah, but like, should everybody then be punished because one person on the team has stayed there for 12 years with the same income?
Well, that's very unlikely, actually, but most companies will reward people who
have stayed long.
Yeah.
Okay. If someone isn't doing their job well, how long does it take before letting them go? Like, if you think
3 strikes.
Wow, okay. What type of strikes?
Something that has cost the organization money and resources. When I say resources, that doesn't just mean money. That also means time.
Okay.
Also means people. Also means harmony. So how much of that person like is expending like the energy of other teammates. But I would say 3 strikes.
Do you feel bad about rejecting people for jobs or promotions?
No.
Oh God.
No, I actually don't. In terms of jobs, I've always thought that if a person didn't get the job, it's because they weren't meant to be there.
What if you have somebody that they weren't meant to be there?
They weren't meant to be there. Okay. And I think that we can bring our faith into this a little bit, but if God chooses not to open a door, like, then that door was never meant to be open.
Okay.
And that actually, when you force yourself into a place, you're actually taking a spot that's for somebody else. And that you're not giving them or yourself room to grow if you're like forcing yourself there. But I don't. Yeah. And in terms of promotions, I mean, I come from a place where I would love to be able to upskill and promote people, but it's all dependent on resources.
Okay. Why do you think some people get promoted faster than others?
Well, one side of it is how good they are at their job.
Okay.
Genuinely is how they're able to commit and devote to the organization, and I think leaders can usually pick that out. But also personality.
Okay.
Personality. I think that you have to consider the people who are making those decisions, what sort of people that they're looking for. And honestly, like, small talk really does go a long way. I hate doing it.
But you're very good at small talk. You're actually you are fantastic at it. After saying, oh, the weather today is good, that's it, I'm done. Like, I have to be honest.
The amount of times I've told you need to.
I know.
work on
I
small talk.
always ask like ChatGPT, like, okay, what type of
You small talk. No, you can't small talk with ChatGPT. You have
No,
to small
like,
talk with other people
I
in real
know,
life.
I know, and I do. I try. I swear, I do. So what I do is I start first. I always try to start first because once I say, oh, the weather is really nice. I'm telling you this fact.
I'm getting bored just by you.
No, if I just say, oh my God, it's so cold today, like, and then the person will start saying like something else, then I'll now flow into it. But I'm telling you, like, I have zero game in, like, I always start with the weather. Like, I don't know.
Why is that though? Because I feel like...
Because like we're in England.
No. But I feel like in non-work situations, you can talk.
Yeah, in non-work situations, I can talk.
You're put in front of somebody who works in the same organisation and suddenly you have no social, like...
Yes, because
why?
It's the vibes. Do you know what I mean? There's
What
a
do you
vibe.
mean?
War. There's a vibe. Like, I don't know how to explain it. In non-work situations, like, everybody is chill and I can
People are
just start saying,
chill at work too.
Oh my God.
I think this is something
only, like this thing you just said now, it is only management that can say this thing. People are chilling. People are not chilling.
I'm telling you, like...
Oh my days, no, absolutely not. No, I'm sorry. Like, I'm actually sorry. No.
I feel like this video has been like, how do you see your workplace? It's actually so revealing. I'm like, you are so ungrateful.
Oh God.
People in the office are so chill.
No, wait. People in the office are chill when I start talking to them. But before I start talking to somebody in the office, right, I just, in my mind, it's always just, okay, this is work. And it's correct. Like, it is actually correct because it is work first. Because you may think that, okay, something is chill, next thing you're getting called into HR, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like you've had bad experiences or something.
Am I projecting?
I feel like
Okay, but I don't think that I'm projecting because this is something that I know you're using our own office as the benchmark. But I think more generally, people need to be,
more careful,
you definitely need to be more cautious,
yeah,
yes, in like office spaces. You're using our office, but then I've definitely worked in like office environments where you definitely need to be mindful because I've seen
I've been in one.
Yeah, like I've seen office environments where you think like, oh, you're just like talking with somebody, you're just chatting with somebody, and then all of a sudden you get do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I've been in that situation.
Yeah,
like,
so
in the past.
I'd rather be more cautious and like quote unquote socially awkward.
But I don't see what you could say in small talk that could be so damning.
This is what a professional at small talk will say. So for example, like, so
you gotta know your audience as well.
Yeah, no, yes. That is
there
what
are
it is
some jokes
that you can make with like some people. Yeah, I get what you mean. Because it's the know your audience. It's that knowing audience that is annoying because it's like, what if you've read the vibe wrong with somebody?
Then
do you get what I mean?
You need to like check yourself. Well,
it's just stressful.
It's like you need to be able to talk or have some form of like small conversation with everyone to even assess the vibe itself.
Do you know another thing I want to say? Like, I think that this is also something like sometimes. Have you watched Modern Family?
Yeah.
You've watched You know how when Gloria says that, do you know how difficult it is to be smart in your own language and then you're not able to explain it, right? And so I feel like sometimes when some people are talking to me, I genuinely did not hear what they said, but I'll just be like, ha, 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 because it's like...
I get that. Yeah.
Because if I say, huh, or like, pardon, and they say it again, I don't want to repeat it. I don't want to be like, huh, and then by the time they explain it again, the joke is dead. Do you know what I mean? So if they just say, I'm just going to be like,
let it go. Yeah.
And then the worst thing is if they say something else like following up for me to then answer.
Oh, and you're lost. And then you just look like, yeah.
So no. So like, I don't know. That was just open-ended. Okay.
But to conclude that, I think that this all started with how to get promoted,
Yes.
right? Small talk.
Small talk.
It's
That's the
important.
thing. Like I definitely think it's a
hang on.
muscle.
But that sounds fake, but it's not.
No, it's not.
It's kind of
Making the
relationships.
effort to get to know your environment and not just, okay, I'm just going to do my job, go in 9 to 5 and just do this, and then how are you expected to be recognized outside of what you produce during that 9 to 5 in terms of output? Like, you need to build those, especially if your promotion will usually mean that, you know, you go into leadership, so they're looking for leadership
leader.
traits.
And how are you able to show that if you're just staring at your screen 9 to 5, not making any effort or showing your relationship skills, your team building skills, your people skills?
I'm just so stressed. I'm so stressed because I get it. I understand what you're saying. It's a lot of effort.
It is
It's actually a lot of effort. And the thing
it takes
is,
energy.
going into a leadership position, most of the time, it's almost like a thankless job. I don't know how to explain it, because then you're going to, you know how you have the luxury of switching off your work phone when you're not yet in leadership, because
Yes.
if something is going wrong, I know that even if they're not able to reach me,
Something will happen.
they're going to call you. Do you get what I mean?
There's like a
There's a
under
hierarchy.
backstop.
Yeah, you're like if I'm not able to, but then when you're in leadership as well, you are the backup.
I am the
so
backup.
you have to like
I'm just there.
be with, yeah. You have to
just there.
Christmas time. I remember during Christmas when you had to like also go with your like computer, your phone, everything. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you really feel when someone takes time off?
I do not mind at all. No,
At
I
a critical
genuinely
time.
don't. A critical time, we don't allow that. We're quite.
I do not mind. At a critical time, we do not
but
allow
there's-
that.
Well, we communicate that beforehand, and
Yeah,
that
it's
there
true.
is a period
Where you
during-
cannot-
can
yeah,
take
yeah,
this
yeah,
out during
Yeah,
season
that you cannot
that
take.
you can take, but it can't be more than a week. So you
word.
can't be taking like 2 weeks during this time, but any other time, like annual leave's there for a reason. We have an allowance. Even our HR departments reminds us, like, you need to take your annual leave,
okay.
or you'll lose it. Use it or lose it.
Okay. Oh, okay. The correct one is like, how do you feel when someone takes time off because they are sick? So context. I was sick. It's not like I'm always sick, no. But like I was sick this past week, and I was really sick. Like I don't even know what the hell I caught, but I was sick, and I was just thinking, oh my god, like how am I? Like I need to try. I was still struggling, and that was why I even came into the office on Monday as well. And I was like, oh, like I need to just go to the office because I haven't been to the office in 2 days. Even though like nobody gives you that like pressure, but it's almost like an
It's for
unspoken.
yourself though. It was more like you putting pressure on yourself, and like you
No,
always felt
there's a socially acceptable amount of times to be sick. It's true.
socially acceptable.
Yeah, like even like officially acceptable amount of times to be sick.
No, I
After
know,
a
there is
certain
an average.
after a certain amount of like sick days somebody has taken. I know I haven't taken
Yeah, but if you're sick,
But I'm
you're
just saying.
sick. You know what
I know, but like I don't know. When somebody starts getting close to like the
Okay,
Multiple.
so on average, a person, this is within like the whole year, an average, an employee will take around like 5.5 to 6 sick days per calendar year. That is the average. And usually that's like random.
it's not at a stretch.
No,
But
because
what
there were
if
times
you
when
get
there's a
sick
stretch.
like at a stretch? Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's more like it's more of a red flag if it's like
Hey. So
Scattered.
so we can't even be sick like
no. Imagine like an employee is always taking a sick day like every end of the month. Do you know what I mean?
Wait.
Consistently.
Oh, okay.
You see,
okay.
there's like
at a
you
particular
can see like
time.
a pattern.
A
Yes,
pattern.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, what if somebody has like very bad dysmenorrhea, like somebody has very bad cramps, like period cramps, right? And statistically, like your cramps come at the same time every month.
That's true. And I think that is, depending on manager, up for conversation. And obviously, like, I think most managers will try and accommodate when somebody is genuinely unwell.
But should they tell you before time, like, oh, I have bad? Because I feel like it's even if I'm a manager, from the point of view of a manager, if somebody comes to me and says, oh, at this time of the month, I always have like very bad so maybe I may need like one day for the worst day of it, something like that. It's also like a very personal thing, and also can be a bit like embarrassing,
Awkward.
especially if it's like if your manager is a man
Oh my
or
gosh,
like, do you get like how do you
I
explain
actually can't
that?
imagine that.
Yeah,
I think I would
do
go
you-
to like if there's a female person in HR.
You tell HR. So you
Yeah.
just how do you feel about cutting? It's
Well,
like if I
not all
skip
the
you
ti-
and
but
then
not all the
go
time,
to
though.
another person, like go to your line manager.
I wouldn't usually do that, but if it's specific
For
topics
something.
like periods, such as something that women go through, then I think it would be fair that I go to a female like HR person rather than my male manager.
How do you handle it when two employees don't get along on the same team? Let's have it. Come on, let's have it.
Why are you asking this question?
Because it was a question on the documents. It's literally a question here.
I think finding the issue and understanding why it happened in the first place. Has there been a miscommunication? Has there been a misunderstanding? Is there a person just not being compliant with the rules of the team? Really, the point, the end goal would be to resolve it.
Resolve it. Okay.
That's it.
What if like bile venom, like they detest each other?
Then I think HR would have to get involved with that, wouldn't they? Because there are processes for that.
Yeah.
If there's specific grievances within a team and it can't be resolved internally, they would source somebody externally to mediate those two people.
Okay, how about if it is not affecting like the workflow of the team? Then you're like,
But
okay, that's cool.
it still matters though.
Does it?
Yeah, I think that if it's making to those two people uncomfortable, even if it's not affecting, it's still there is no way that two people basically hating each other is not going to affect not only the work but the team that they
vibe.
work around.
I get what you mean.
So I think that with or without the person like thinking, oh, it's not affecting the work, it would still need to be addressed.
Okay. What's the best way you say for like to keep your team motivated, or like the way, this is not even like a question that I'll say people are asking, but like as if you see that the spirit or the like morale is low, what's the best way? Please don't say team pizza.
No.
Okay.
I think spending time together, and that's not through pizza, but just spending time together.
Doing what? It's eating.
No, it doesn't have to be. Even we can give examples of like going to play table tennis, or like going out
Team
for,
games, like okay.
no, it doesn't have to. Thing is, you just can't have it too forced. Like it has to be natural.
It does.
You know, but also I think just reminding everybody that like we're all there for a reason.
Okay.
Like we all contribute to one goal. And I know that sounds like super motivational speaker.
It does.
But I think with the context that we're working in, it really does apply.
You know how like when organizations say you have, or like when companies and jobs say you have work-life balance, make sure to have good work-life balance, Is it a real thing, or do you think like because a lot of the time, not always, but I've seen things like on the internet where people are like, oh yeah, they say, oh, have work-life balance, so, and then when they see you having life outside of work, it's almost like...
Who?
Okay, to be fair, the people I've seen like complain about it are like abroad, like mostly in America.
And also the ones who don't have much of a life themselves. They're like, how could you? How would you not give your soul and body to this? Like, I don't.
I think I've seen it mostly in like law. I'll say like in law.
Demanding,
because,
like very
yeah, it's a very demanding profession, and it's almost like when you have life outside of it, it's almost like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, what's your... okay.
I don't think that...
Okay. I don't know, these are all the questions that I have. What are questions you want to ask like employees?
You.
Or not me.
No.
Employees, please, employees.
Well, it has to be you. You're the only person in this room. I'm going to talk to this lamp. What am I going to do?
Okay, wait. Relax. Then like, okay, what questions will you have for like employees? What questions are you curious about? Like, oh, how do we think about you like on the team, or like?
Okay, yeah, I'm curious.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think about me? No. I think
that.
What do you think about me, because you know me as like a person, not like
I don't know you.
not like so.
I don't know you.
Not like so much.
Who is this? Who is this? I don't know you.
A little bit.
Okay.
Me as office C and me as like
Outside
non-office. I was like person C.
I feel like you're even almost the same. No, actually, no. I feel like you're almost the same person, like in the office and outside of the office, because the only thing is like you're like.
Be careful with your. Do not incriminate me.
Do you see what? No. I feel like you're killing me, please. I feel like in the office, like you're very good at small talk. Like you're very, very, very good at it. It's
I
actually
don't understand
very bad.
what you are saying.
I'm telling you, like in the office, you're really good at small talk. You're very social. But then outside of the office, I don't actually think that you're very like social.
Because they take everything out of me. 9 to 5, Monday to Friday.
I feel like you're very social.
You know that?
in
They
the
know that
office.
videos go, I've got nothing left. Have you seen that? From EastEnders. I've got nothing. That's me after I come home from that.
Okay, but it's like you're very social in the office. You're like very, very like, oh hi, good morning. Also, what's it with like good morning? Like in this country, when you come to
There are no good mornings.
Wait,
It was
I'm
just a
saying, in this
mediocre
country,
morning.
every time you come to work, it's like morning. Have you seen that meme? It's like morning, Tracy. Morning, John. Morning.
Is that not a thing anywhere else?
I don't know. That's like, I guess maybe people be like, good morning, no. Like I don't know.
Not that like.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like
chorus.
Yeah, it's almost ingenuine. Like I don't know how to explain it. It almost doesn't seem real when people are like, oh, morning,
we don't mean
there's
it.
more. Wow. Okay.
We do. Depends who you're talking to.
I get. But also, like, yeah, I think in the office you're really good at small talk. Like, it's almost, I don't know, it's fascinating. Like, it's like, how do you have, or when we go for like meetings and you start saying, oh, so the thing, sometimes I'm just like, okay. Like when I say my weather bits, I'm like,
we're done.
That's why I have to be the first. I have to be the first person to talk, so that I'll just be like, oh, is it cold there? And then everybody starts talking, and then that's my. And then you then start saying like, how do you even know things to start talking about? Yeah, like,
that's because you ask questions and then you hear the response and then you register the response.
Yeah, but like, how do you even know the questions?
In the future.
Oh.
You gather information,
and then you
store,
keep it, and then you
deploy.
Okay, so it's something that experience will teach you. That's what I'm hearing. Like because you've done it multiple times, you can then do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, all of us, we hate you on the team. By the way, like just letting you know, we absolutely detest you. We don't like you at all.
I can tell.
We just tolerate you, and we're like, we tolerate you, and we're like, okay. Yeah, we just have to do it. Yeah, but you cook well, so we need to tolerate you so you can bring in more food to the office. Yeah,
that's why you gain the benefits of a good cook.
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions do I have? Has this job lived up to its expectations?
I feel I didn't have any expectations, quite frankly. I didn't. I had another interview that went really, it was so terrible, like it was tough, but I got the job, but it was tough. But it was too far, it was up north, and I was not going to go north, right? And to be honest, it was like a job of convenience. I was like, oh, I'm going to accept it maybe out of convenience. But then when I came for the interview and I came in office, and then, oh my God, I went round like the building, and the first person I met was like, yeah, the first person I met was, and like he was really very welcoming, and he showed me around, and I was like, oh, who's this nice man? Like, and I was like, who's this nice man? And he was also like, so I don't know, it just felt.
Okay, I've got a question.
Okay.
What was your first impression of me?
I didn't think anything. I thought like you look like a porcelain doll.
Porcelain doll?
You just look like, I don't know how to explain it. Like you were just sitting, and you were wearing red in my first interview as well. You were wearing red, and you had red lipstick on as well. So you were just like in the corner, and I was like, okay. And you said, oh, that's okay. You didn't really ask me too many questions at first, like in the first one. So I didn't really have any thoughts. I just thought, oh, like you look like you know those, like, I don't know what they're called, like those dolls, are they called China dolls? You know those ones that have like, you bring them out of each
Russian dolls.
Russian dolls.
Russian dolls.
Yes. That was literally my first impression. Like, I didn't have any like personality vibe at first. It was just that I just thought, oh, like you look very well molded. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like put together. Like, do you get what I mean?
Very well molded.
Yeah, very like
my CV.
No, like you looked, you know the red shirt I'm talking about. You've worn it before as well to work. Like, it's very like sleek. Like, I don't have the English, but you just looked very like you knew what you were doing. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I still don't.
Yeah, you don't, but like you do.
I like to know that, you know, the mask is working.
A catfish.
I am.
But yeah, okay. But yeah, that was my first impression. And then when I came to the office, it was more like I got the vibe of the place, I'll say. And it felt like important work. That's what I'll say. Like, it felt like very important work. And I was like, oh my God, like, I can't believe I was about to be like, oh, maybe I'm not taking this job or like.
Okay, what will you miss about having me as a manager?
Yeah, it's true. Because like at the point of you watching this video, she's no longer my manager. Like, we don't work together anymore.
But we don't know each other now as well. I blocked her on all social media.
Also, like,
don't know
even do you say what I'll miss?
Yeah.
I won't miss anything. Leave this face.
See?
What I'll miss? I guess it's like, you know the thing, I don't know how I'll now feel coming to work. Do you get what I mean? Because sometimes it's like, before I come to work, I already know, I'm like, oh, I need to take this, maybe, I don't know, things we talk about, like maybe I'll take this perfume sample so that you guys can like look at it, or I bought something new and I want to just talk about it and like share about it. Like, I guess it's that, like, when you're going to work and you don't feel the dread, I'm telling you, like, I've worked before and I felt existential dread. Like, why do I have to do this thing every single day?
No, actually, I
but
get that.
You need to pay your rent. But like, I don't have it now, like at this job. And I think it's because of like the relationships that like I've built, like, and we have. Just, it's easy. It doesn't feel like a chore. Like, I'm actually happy, looking forward to like executing my tasks and like doing.
That's great. That's like gold to my ears as a manager.
But now, like, if you leave, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Like, I've prayed about it a lot. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
It depends on the next.
It depends on the next. Yeah, it depends on like the next manager, and also I think I feel like the team is. We have a good relationship, to be honest. Like, I feel like we have a good relationship, but who knows? Do you get what I mean?
Who knows who could all... After I leave, I could be the glue that's holding the whole team together, and when I go, it's just going to crumble like a cookie.
Please. I just think that leadership matters a lot. So I feel that the person that is at the top will set the tone for what the team should be. And so I think it's important that we all just cross our fingers and really hope to God that we get somebody that like is good. And also having an open mind to give that person a chance as well.
Definitely.
Yes. Definitely keeping an open mind to give the person a chance and help them as much as we can. But then also pray that they're a good person.
Yeah, that's the main thing, is like their integrity and their character is huge.
Are you saying that your integrity and your character
100%. It's like 10 out of 10. No, but for real, I think that because people can have different leadership styles, but it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It's just different. So let's say somebody comes in and they don't have my leadership style. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be good. It will just be an adjustment. It will just be a change.
Okay.
You know? But also, it's not just you guys that have to change. If he or she is a good leader, they should be able to assess what the
Why
team
did you say
needs.
he? Is it a he?
He or she.
You said he first.
Rewind back, guys. I said he or she.
Okay.
Rewind back. But yeah, also it's adjustment on both sides.
Yeah.
The team members and also the new manager.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for answering some of our questions, even though you were deflecting some, but thank you.
I'm not deflecting.
Because it's always like fascinating, like just looking at the boss. Like, is it difficult being a boss? Like, is it difficult?
I don't like it at all.
Wow.
I literally, the next
You don't
role,
like power, or you don't like the money, or you don't like the power?
No, I just, who doesn't like money?
That's what I'm wondering.
No, I if I could get the role that I'm going into, I don't have to line manage anybody, and that is the main
Is it difficult? Like, what is the most difficult thing about like managing people?
I think for my personality type, I've always been a project person, so I like being thrown into one project and I do like
Okay, but then how do you want to grow, like, to
I don't.
To
me, grow.
Shit from here.
Grow.
Being so serious, like this is a
I
professional
don't.
video.
I've been grown. I got forced to grow. I'm actually being really real. Like, there are some people who thrive in being a manager, and there are some people who can do it well, but it's not their natural gifting.
Okay.
Well,
so what
it
do you
could
think
be.
you are?
I think I'm the second one.
So you
I
think
think
you
I
can
could do it well because
but
if I
then
think
it's not your preference.
but it's not my preference.
But then, like, how? Because for you to rise in, like, corporate, I'll say, like, in big corp, like, for you to rise, you need to manage people. Like, you have to. That's just the thing.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, then go for it.
That's not what you want to do.
Go chase it.
Wow.
Chase
Guys,
it.
this is not my manager saying that she hates managing all of us.
I'm real though. I know that it's not for me. And I think it took me some time. You know, you have to do something to realize that you don't like
Want to do
it.
it, okay.
And I think now I've been there after dealing with all of you guys. I'm like, that's enough. No, I'm kidding. No, because imagine like the team that I'm leading now. We work really well together,
We do,
and we
yeah.
just have a good relationship.
Good synergy.
And I already know that this isn't for me. Like the position I'm in isn't for me. I would
That's
rather
so
be
interesting.
doing.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Wait, but that's so interesting because, like, I'm just like thinking about it. This is the best possible scenario, I'll
Yeah.
say, because
Yes.
imagine if you had like more difficult people.
Yeah, okay, that's what I mean.
Do you get what I mean? Like, if
But
you had
I
more
don't
difficult
have that. I actually have people who I enjoy working with on a daily
But then
basis.
it's still-
And I still know deep down, I have to be honest with myself. Am I putting my actual skills that I want to, like, is this what I want to be doing every single day? Does this
But like,
match my
okay, what
gifts
is
and my
your
skills?
but what is your like long-term goal? If you then, because do you get what I mean?
To be at home.
We're actually
Girl boss life chose me. I didn't choose it. Okay?
Oh my days, like
Lifed me. Like no, but I remember I went to go see my friend's mum, and we were chatting. But she didn't know me that well, so it was like the second time that I'd met her, and she was like, "Oh, I've always thought." So she asked me like, "So what do you want to do in like 5 years' time?" And I said, "Well, hopefully as a housewife, hopefully at home." And she was like, "What? I always thought you were like, you know, some like girl boss."
yeah, you don't give
And I'm like,
housewife-
you don't know me.
No, but you don't even give like stay-at-home mom vibes at all. Like at all. I'm telling you.
You
like,
saying I'm not maternal? No, I'm not. My anger issues won't let me.
No, what I'm saying is that you give very much like, and it's type A personality. Like, I have to do this, sort this out.
Yeah, I will do that at home. This laundry needs to get, this thing needs to come out of the oven.
No, I definitely, I think you're going to get bored in 2.5 seconds of doing it, but that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, I
Also,
think...
if you have to ask somebody else for money 2 times, yeah, like, cut it out.
Yeah, I actually get that. I'd be like, am I not embarrassed? Like, why am I asking to look in your pocket? Like, oh, yuck, ick. I actually would give myself the ick.
That's not how to be.
Can you please transfer me £40 for my nails? Oh my gosh! I think I would cut them off myself. You know what? If I don't, you know what? I'd be so embarrassed
So would you not
that I wouldn't ask, and I would just
paint
colour
your
it
nails yourself?
with felt tip.
Oh my god.
No, that's so embarrassing. You'd be like,
That's what I'm saying. Okay, but then can you see how it does
no,
not match?
I want it to be automated payments. So I don't have to ask. Like, don't make me ask. Just give it.
Okay.
Like, I want like a standing order.
Okay, to your account.
Yes. So I don't have to ask.
No worries.
Less admin as well for them. So,
Less admin. Look, do you see the things you're talking about and the life you say you want?
no, I honestly, this life chose me.
Okay, no worries.
I also want to point out that, like, okay, apart from the role that I'm in, I didn't apply for the
Progression.
no.
It was relationships that got
It
it.
was-
So it was soft skills that are making you ascend to a higher level.
Even the
Previous one as well.
no, and even the one that's like coming, that I had nothing. Like, I didn't do anything.
So you've just been getting roles based on like just soft skills, networking. I really need to get in my networking bag and just be better at it. I feel like I'm not bad at it,
Yeah.
but like I'm awkward at first, but I need to actually be so for real. So in summary,
Be
everybody.
so for real, for real. That's what she says on a daily basis in the office. Be so for real, for real.
Okay, we need
For real,
that's not
Pharrell
what
Williams.
Oh my god, that's the most millennial thing.
Actually, that is so cringe.
Oh my god.
You can tell my age. I was born in the 1990s.
Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you that. Oh my days. Like, the summary of this video is that my boss is politically correct and you should get your networking skills up. Thank you very much to C Boss here for coming. We're going to call her C. Boss as her name because we're being incognito. Thank you guys. Yeah, she can't fire me because she doesn't work with me no more. So yeah. Thank you. Bye.